Kristy.
Okay, so today's class is just a basic GET training class. People who have questions, you can bring up your questions towards the ending of class. We're just gonna go over a few basic information on GET, how to file, where to file, what to file, and we'll go from there, and also when to file. Okay, so general excise tax is a privileged business tax imposed by the state of Hawaii. It's the gross income received by people engaging in business activity in the state of Hawaii. So basically, it's kind of like a privilege tax for anyone doing business in the state. Oahu's general excise tax is 4.5%. Maui's is 4%. Big Island is 4.25%, and Kauai is 4.5%. Every person engaging in business in the state of Hawaii is required to have a GET license, and they're also required to file the appropriate tax returns based on the amount of GET. Based on the amount of GET they have to pay per year is how the state determines if you're a semi-annual filer or a monthly filer or a quarterly filer. You're able to file semi-annually if you pay less $2,000 or less in GET per year. When you initially get your GET license as a new agent, from the very beginning, you should file semi-annual because it's harder to go switching from like a frequent GET filer. Like, let's say you decided to go from being a new agent off the bat to file monthly. It's harder to apply back to being a quarterly or semi-annual filer with the state. So if you're a new agent and you got your GE license and you start filing, your initial filing should be just semi-annual filer, twice a year. And once your business picks up, the state will actually mail you a letter saying, hey, we noticed that your business is picking up. You're going to need to file quarterly starting from this and this date. So they'll let you know. So it's easier to just file semi-annually from the start. You're required to file quarterly if you pay $4,000 or less in GET per year. So between $4,000 and $2,001 in GET. If you pay that, you have to file quarterly. And you file monthly if you pay more than $4,000 a year in GET. So what amount do you report? It's the gross commission income. So this amount is not always the amount on your commission check. It's the amount that's on your DA, the distribution authorization form. And we'll go through a sample DA and we'll show you exactly which numbers you're supposed to report to file your GET. So this is a sample DA, and this is the very first page of your DA, and it just shows a summary of where all the commission is going, also known as like commission instructions for escrow. So this is the first page. It just shows a rough summary of the property address, when the closing is, the sales price, the commission, and what checks are supposed to be cut to who. Now, on the second page of the DA, it shows a detailed breakdown of where everything goes and what the calculations are. So on this page, it'll show the entire gross commission the splits between you and the brokerage, any deductions that are going out to either the brokerage or even to, you know, home warranty, something that you're gifting out to your client, or even, you know, a concession, credit to the buyer, credit to the seller. And it splits that up here. And it also includes the royalty that you're giving to your brokerage, which is usually $3,000. You're capped at $3,000 per anniversary year, and it's 6% of your gross commission income, capped at $3,000. And that is right here. Oh, let me put that back. That's the associate royalty, where it has 840. That is the spot where you look at that calculates the royalty that you're paying out on your current transaction. So the amount that you're supposed to report on your GET, on your DA, page 2, is the net commission. So right over here in the second column where it says net commission, the $8,960, that is the amount that you paid GET on, the net commission. So when you get your DAs, make sure you highlight that number so that you'll, you know, it's a reminder that that's the amount that you put when you file your GET, whether it's monthly, semi-annually, or quarterly. So there are 2 ways to file your GET. You can file online, or you can file just snail mail. So this right here is an example of a PDF file that you can either fill out online on your computer, or you can, there's a hand writable form as well, where you can just fill it out, print it out, fill it out, and then mail it out to the Hawaii State Tax Department. Anyone who files monthly is required by the state of Hawaii to file online. You can't file by paper. You can't snail mail your G45. So this is a sample of a paper G45 that you can print out and fill out. If anybody needs a handwritable G45 that they need, I can email them that. Just put that in the chat box if you need, and we'll send this out to you. So on this G45, I've highlighted all the places that you need to fill out. You have to circle in if you're a monthly, quarterly, or semi-annual filer. You're going to put the period that it's ending that you're filing for, your GE tax ID number and your name, and the last 4 digits of your social security number. That's the first page. And then if you go to the midsection of the first page, you're going to report your total gross commission income on line 9, where it says services including professional. Some people, there's 2 places you can put it. Some people will put it in line 9, where it says services including professional, or you can put it under number 12, commissions. Either one. That's where you put in your GCI, your gross commission income. And then for exemptions and deductions on column B, you're not putting anything over there. And then column C, you're just putting the same amount that you put from column A, line number 9. On the bottom, that's after you fill out page 2, you're just gonna sign your signature. Title will be owner, and then the date. And then you're gonna go to the second page, refill out your name, tax ID, so the last 4 of your social, and the period ending that you're reporting for. And if you're on Oahu, you'll fill out Oahu surcharge, because the surcharge is 5%. It's only for Oahu residents who do business in Oahu. You're just going to put the amount that you've put from page 1 on line item number 9 onto the second page Oahu surcharge, line item number 19. And then part 5, you're going to circle whether you're doing business Oahu, Maui, or Hawaii, or multiple. And you're just carrying it over the totals to line 22 and line 24. Line 24 if you're doing business on Oahu. So the instructions are very, very, very basic. It'll tell you like, this is the total, you add it up, you just put the total amount from, you know, line 19 down to line 25. Like, it's very simple. So on line 25, you're gonna put the total taxes that's due to you. And then you're putting that number on, carrying it down to line 27. And all the parts that says amended, you don't need to, amended return only, you don't need to fill out. And you're gonna put the total that you owe on line 32 and 33. That's it. The quick and dirty way to do this is you're just gonna take your total GCI and times that by whatever the GE is. So if you're Oahu resident, it's, you know, let's say your gross commission that you're reporting is $10,000. You're just timesing that by 4.5% if you're an Oahu resident, and that's how much you owe in GE taxes. Maui is 4%, and Big Island is 4.25, and Kauai is 4.5. Ray, you have your hand up?
Yeah, we've got a couple questions in the chat box. Can a CPA help with this?
Oh yeah. If you have a CPA, I think they have services where they file your GET return. So what they're going to ask you is just for your numbers. They're going to ask you every month, I need your gross commission income so I can file your GET. And the number that you're going to give them is, again, it's your net commission from page 2 of your DA. You're adding all of those up because if you have multiple closings, you're going to add up this net commission, page 2 of your DAs, and that those totals is what you're going to give your CPA. So he can file your GET for you and tell you exactly how much you need to pay. Ray, was there any other questions in the chat?
Yeah, there's a couple more. The Nicole Jacobs said her CPA mentioned that there's no need to register as a DBA when obtaining a GE license, but can you go over the process of getting the GE license?
Oh, wait, sorry. Oh, DBA. Okay, so yes. So when you get your GE license initially, there is no DBA because you are an independent contractor. So the name of your business is your name. And what the tax ID that's actually tied to your business when you register to get a GE license, when they ask for a tax ID number, they're going to ask you, okay, fill out your tax ID number. That is your social security number. Because you're an independent contractor, this is your business. So it's not an LLC. Let's see. So it's directly tied to your social security. So there's no DBA. Your name is your business tied to your social security. Does GET apply to referral fees received? Yes, it does. Because any referrals that you get, you have to report it and pay GET on it because it's still income coming to you, and your business is being a realtor, and it's commissions, it's real estate commissions. No, you don't put, so Nicole's asking, right, if you put your social in the GE field. No. So when you apply for your GE tax ID number, they're going to ask you to put your name, your social security, like your tax ID number, which is your social security number. They're going to ask you to put your business address, when you start a business, like all of that. And on there, that's where you put your social security. And then once you do that, you apply for your GE license at I'm gonna actually send you guys the link. It's
That's
online.
nice.
It's online and it's through Hawaii State Tax Department. And you are going to be applying for the BB1 form. That's the form you fill out to get your GE license. BB1. B as in boy, B as in boy, 1 form to get your GE license. I think it's $20 to purchase. And once you fill that out, they're going to snail mail you a little card that gives you your GE tax ID number. And it usually starts with a W, and it's like 00, da, da, da. It's like a long number that they'll send you.
And then I did get an anonymous question. What if I forgot to pay my GE tax for the first half of last year?
Oh, then you need to file it ASAP.
Yeah, file it and then take the penalty, right?
Yeah, you just have to file ASAP. Someone's asking, do we pay GET on credit to buyer, credit to seller? So interesting. Let's see. So when you look at your DA, like let's look at this right here, the DA, second page. When you have a credit to buyer, credit to seller, it's going under deductions. And so whether it's under, sorry, let me go back. You're not paying that per se, you're paying the net commissions on the top. But that net commissions does include the credit to buyer or seller. That net commission does include the credit to buyer or seller. It does. You are paying GET on the credit to buyer or seller because it is a deduction. Anything that is a deduction on your commissions, like for example, on this one, the only deduction on this transaction is the $100 risk management and $570 to the home warranty company. You are paying GET on these because it's your commission that you're deciding to pay other expenses on. Like, okay, like home warranty, you're paying, or home inspection, you're paying $570 out of your commission to this expense that you're gifting to your client. So it's still your income and it's part of your net commissions. Yoko, you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. It's based on what Ray just said as well. So when I first get my license was beginning of last year, and I was with other brokerage. I've never heard how to apply the license number or file the tax like this.
Yeah.
So I haven't done it the whole year last year, and I don't even have a license number yet. And now I don't know what to do. It's gonna be a hell of a ton of penalty on me.
So did you have any closings last year?
I just closed one, and
Okay.
income was
No,
like
so
7,000. That was it.
It's not even an issue. It's not a problem. So I don't know why, but for some reason, pre-licensing school does not teach you, oh, don't forget, you got to get a GE license or how. Like I don't know why. Nobody tells you, okay, you have to, after you get your real estate license and all of that, you pass, you have to file a GE license. Like nobody tells you that. So
No, yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why. So maybe we should be telling the pre-licensing schools to suggest that. So maybe we'll start doing that because nobody knows. So when all the new agents get out of school and they pass their real estate exam, they have no idea. They're like, what is that? Why do I have to pay that? Where do I go? I'm clueless. It's because you're going to be a business owner. In essence, you as a real estate agent is opening up your own business technically. You're an independent contractor. So any independent contractor has to file a GE license. To start your own business, you have to have a GE license to do business in the state of Hawaii.
Yeah.
So I'll email you separately, Yoko, because I was gonna email you anyway. So
Okay.
I'll talk to you about that in a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully you can help me to work that out. I'm kind of scared now.
No, I mean, it's not that big. It's not that big of a deal.
Okay.
Crystal is asking, do you apply for one once you join a broker? Generally, yes, you apply for one once you join a broker. Well, You apply for your GE license once you get your real estate license, because as soon as you get your license, that means you're running your own business. Yeah, but technically you're not reporting anything until you actually have a closing. So once you have a closing, then you got to be like, oh, okay, I just got my real estate license. I have a closing in March. Then you just got to think, okay, I'm going to be filing as a semi-annual filer because I'm brand new. So only twice a year. So if you have a closing in March, you're just going to have to remind yourself that you have to file and pay GET in July, on July 20th. So we're going to go over when to file and what to file. So your G45 is due on the 20th business day of the calendar month. If you are a monthly filer, your GET is due on the 20th day if it lands on a business day. If the 20th lands on a weekend or a holiday, then it's due on the next business day. So let's say right now, okay, so January 20th is what is due for December of last year's monthly filers. Their GET is due. And also quarterly filers, fourth quarter is due on January 20th. So for monthly filers, 20th, every 20th of the following month is when your GET is due. Quarterly filers, these are the due dates. First quarter is due on April 20th. Second quarter is due on July 20th. Third quarter is October 20th. And fourth quarter is due January 20th. Semi-annual filers, July 20th is when your first half of the year GET payments are due. And January 20th of the next year is when your second half of the year GET payments are due.
I have a quick question, just to clarify.
Mm-hmm.
So like the January 21 that are due, that would be, if it's semi-annual, that would be from July 1 to December 31st, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, someone's asking, how do you know if you should file monthly, quarterly, or biannually? So if you are new and you just got your G license, you should file semi-annually. And if you do a lot of business, the state will email you. And actually they'll snail mail you a letter saying, we see that you have high volume, or you're having a lot of business. You need to start filing quarterly, or you need to start filing monthly by such and such date. They will let you know. And see, all filers must file an annual return and reconciliation of your GET. It's called the G49 form. This is to reconcile and make sure that you didn't make any errors. And if you did, you can catch all those errors and file your G49. It's just a recap of all the payments that you made throughout the year. And if you did it correctly, you won't owe anything at the end of the year. This is filed in addition to your G45, and it's due April 20th. So the G49 for everybody is going to be due April 20th, 2022. If it doesn't land on a weekend, let's see. So April 20th of this year, it lands on a Wednesday. So yeah, it's going to be due on Wednesday. And keep in mind, when they say something is due, it either has to be post-dated on your postage. It has to have the date April 20th on there or before, for it to be considered, okay, that's when it was mailed on time. If you file it online, that's not an issue. But if you snail mail your payments and your GE form, you have to make sure that the date on the postage is stamped on or before the due date. And you should have a copy of it, because if the state comes back and sends you a letter saying, oh, you have penalties and interest because we didn't receive your GET until past the due date, you have proof of your mail. But if you don't have the proof, it's you against the state. They're going to say, nope, you didn't receive it on that time. Where's your proof? And you're going to have nothing. So it's always in favor of the state. You have to have copies just in case. So filing your federal taxes and your Hawaii state income tax, your federal income tax and your Hawaii state income tax is totally different from this GE tax. Your GE tax is, it's a business privilege tax for all business owners because you are all business owners. So your individual tax return and your GE, totally separate. See. So your G49 looks like this. It looks very, very similar to your G45. It's basically the same thing. You fill out, you know, line item 9, services including professional, and everything is basically the same as the G45. The only thing different is on the second page of your G49 on line 28, you're putting total payments that you've made to the state of Hawaii for GE taxes for the whole year. You're putting that amount there. And on line 30 is going to be the net payments made. So if you had to adjust something or change something, you're like, oops, I forgot to report, you know, an extra $5,000 from November, and you're putting it in here, then there's going to be a net payment difference. And that's the payment that you're going to make along with sending in your G49. That's basically what the G49 is meant to do so that you're able to reconcile your GE tax returns and make any payments or get any refunds for any over reporting, both ways. As far as your question in the chat box, Rachel, about GE tax or write-off as a business expense, yeah, that's for CPA. It's not, I don't know how should I answer this. Your CPA will have all your records of all of your GE tax payments and all of that when they're filing your federal and individual tax returns, and they'll give you recommendations on what you should do or what they will be doing for you on your behalf. Let's see. Yes, anyone who's registered for the class will be sending out this PowerPoint for everyone to have on their files. This is also recording, and we will send out the recording link for anyone to revisit this should they need to. So G49, it's just a rough summary of the whole year and what you've paid, and if you have any changes. This is where you make your checks payable to Hawaii State Tax Collector. You mail it to this address. If you're going to snail mail your GE tax returns, on the G45 and G49, on the first page, it tells you what address to mail it out to. And you can also file forms and make payments electronically through the state's website. And it's this. I think it's still this. If you go to it, I think it'll either route you to a new website because they changed it a few years back. So I think it's this. If it's not, I'll email you guys the updated one. Let's see. In the chat, does KW send us a tenant for commissions, or do we just add up our days and give that to a CPA? Okay, no. So yes, you will receive a 1099 from your brokerage. Every brokerage, anybody that has their that has their license with their brokerage is supposed to be sending them a 1099 at the end of the year. By law, you're supposed to receive your 1099 by January 31st. So everyone will be getting a 1099 mailed to them on or before January 31st, 2022. If you have any other questions, now's the time. I think that was it. It's very simple. Just very basic. Okay, so let's see. Lisa said, what happens if we don't receive a G license before the semi-annual filing deadline? If you have a closing that closed, I don't know, last year, like October, and you didn't get your GE license, then just when you get your GE license, then file it for the second half. See, will the 1099 be our actual check amounts? No, the 1099s will not be the amount, the totals from the checks that you actually receive. It's the net commission. It's a net commission total. The second page of your DAs that says net commission, that is the totals that you're adding up, and that will equal the 1099 that you receive at the end of the year. And what you also can do is you're gonna get a DA list from your MCA, and it'll have all of your transactions for the whole year, and it'll have a section that's going to be reported on your 1099. Let's see, yeah. So this is the snail mail address for GET. All of these, the PowerPoint slide and the recordings will be sent to everybody registered for class. So we are good. Stephanie, you had a question. If the seller paid GET, that'll be the net commission score separate.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that, like, I do have a couple of deals where the get was paid by the client.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to make sure if I get the 1099, will that include that get, or will that be separate? Because I don't want to be taxed on the get, right?
Yeah, no, so let me double check on that. But if you look at your if you look at your DA, the second page of your DA, you're reporting the net commissions. So if the GET is included in the net commissions, I don't think it is. It's just your net commissions. I don't think the GET is included on it. If you look at your DA, check one of your DAs that has GET and see if the GET is included in net commissions, but I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, I mean, obviously it's included in the total payment when I get it, wired.
Yes.
But I'll double check on that. Cool.
And it's important to remember, if the seller agrees or anybody agrees to compensate you for the GET, that they're giving you that amount for you to pay your GET, right? They're compensating you for what's going to be due for GET. They're not actually filing and paying it for you.
That's good. I mean, it's an open space. Anybody have questions, has any questions about GET? We can bring it up now, Okay, someone's asking, where do we mail this application? How much are the fees, if any? BB1 form, it shows on the, I think on the app, on the BB1 form, it tells you exactly where to mail out your form and the check for, I think it's $20 for your BB1 application. I think it's $20. Let's see. Yeah. It's on the BB1 form when you fill it out. Ray, did you send that out? Did you send it PDF via chat?
Yeah, I'll send it again. It's the same address that's on the screen though.
Okay.
And then everyone is sending me private messages that are really stressed out about stuff. So everyone just relax, breathe. If you are a little bit behind on this, it's usually just a small penalty, but it's always better to tackle it now than to get too stressed about it and not handle it. And if you do need assistance, call your CPA. They're used to dealing with this stuff. So don't stress, just get it taken care of.
And Ray,
Who's that?
it's
Yes?
Jeannie. Yeah,
Oh, Jeannie, hi.
the other thing that people can do so that they don't stress out is you can always call the Hawaii Department of Taxation. They're really helpful. You ask them whatever questions honestly, and they will direct you to what you need to do. And they're very, very helpful. So,
Yeah, and as you can tell by just this small group, you're not alone. They deal with this all the time. So don't stress.
yeah. Yep.
And I'll say too, for those who haven't filed it, their GET number yet, I'm doing it right now and it has the instructions with it. So just follow the instructions and it'll explain. Because there's things that I've already had questions about, but just looking at the instructions, I pretty much figured it out myself. So just let everybody else know.
Thank you, Kristy and Ray.
You're welcome. Yeah, I don't know why. I'll let some of the instructors know, the pre-licensing schools, they need to like let people know that they need to get their G license as soon as they pass their exam.
I would think it'd be a benefit to the coaches only because they're going to be possibly inundated with questions now.
Yeah.
If we could just be aware of this sooner. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
Doke. Any more questions before we sign off?
Looks like maybe Yoko and Stephanie have questions.
Yeah, Kristy, sorry, I have a question.
Mhm.
So it sounded like the GT tax is totally separate from the normal annual income tax filing. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Mhm.
So we pay both. We pay the GT semi-annually first, and then at the end of the year, we still file for the income tax with the added on commission as the income as well, if we had other income too.
Yeah, because your annual income tax that you pay to the IRS and to the state of Hawaii is totally separate from this GE tax filing that you're doing. It's totally separate.
Oh, okay.
Because GE tax is just something that all businesses in the state of Hawaii, anybody that's doing business in the state of Hawaii by law has to pay this GE tax. It's a business privilege tax that business owners have to pay in order to do business in the state of Hawaii.
Okay, so it doesn't have nothing to do with the receipt that we saved or anything. It's just flat 4.5%. And then when we file the tax return for the income tax, that's when we start to look at the expenses.
Yeah, the things that all your expenses, your receipts and stuff that you gotta file and give to your CPA, that's totally separate from GET. Your GE tax, you're only reporting your net commissions on the second page of your DA. That's all you're paying, your 4.5%. Unless you have other things, like if you are a property owner and you have rental income and all of that, that's all separate. That's a different animal. So if you are an owner that's renting property, stuff like that, that's rental income that you have to report to pay GET on. But anyone who has that, they should already know that. That's another animal.
Okay, this was a new animal too. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Um, 4.712, right? That's what I was told recently. Okay, no. So 4.712 is the GE tax amount. I don't want to confuse anyone. Okay, 4.712% is the GE tax amount that, the seller or buyer gives you if you're doing business on Oahu. That's totally separate from this GE tax reporting. So if you do business in Oahu, you're paying GE, you're paying 4.5% of your commissions. So that's a different thing, Stephanie. We can talk about that more in detail. I'll send you some information.
I think they call that the max pass on rate. That's the most you can charge your customer, correct? And then the rate that we pay on GET is separate, right?
BB1 form, you can complete it online or snail mail. You can do both, either or, whatever is easiest for you. I'll send links. Any other questions? I am going to put my email address.
Hey, Christy, I have a quick question.
Mhm.
When we do our end of year one, that's for the last quarter, but you don't actually pay it till January, does that get applied to which tax year?
Wait, what are you talking about? What are you referring to?
Because you don't report that.
On January 20th, if, let's say you're a monthly filer, January 20th, you're paying GET on December, all of December. If you're a quarterly
Right.
filer on January 20th, you're only reporting income that you received in Q4. So October, November, and December's income. And then if you're a semi-annual filer, January 20th, you're reporting income from July 1st to December 31st.
But you don't report that in your federal tax or anything.
Federal income tax, you mean?
Yeah.
No, so,
Okay.
It's-
yeah, no.
It would be an expense on your
So-
federal income tax,
So
okay?
if,
So if you're filing a Schedule C, and then you have your commissions on there, your GE tax, depending on when you paid it, if you paid it
Okay.
whichever calendar year, if you're a cash basis client, that's when you could use it as a deduction to offset your income.
Okay, so yeah, so
Yeah.
that basically answers my question. So if you're paying the
Okay.
December amount in January, it would go on the next year's expense report.
Most probably check with your accountant, because if you're a cash basis versus not, that could affect it. I don't know your situation, so I would double check that. But in general, if you're paying it in January, it's a 2022 expense in general. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, no worries.
yeah, I mean, your CPA will be asking you all these questions, like, did you file your GET already? I need all of the payments that you made so far in your GET, stuff like that. They'll actually ask you these questions when they prepare your tax returns, or if they're already filing your GE tax returns, then they're not going to ask you, because they already know what to do with your GET payments when they file your federal income tax returns. Any other questions? Okie doke. Ray, you can stop recording and then we can download and start sending people the material after.